Hello and welcome to East in Paris, though still in London. So for your French viewer, bonjour ou bienvenue à Est à Paris. Finally found an apartment near Paris, not in Paris, and why we're not going for Paris is because finding an apartment that is suitable for a family of three plus a working space for myself, because I work remotely, is going to be pretty expensive in an arrondissement. So we've gone for a place, a 3-bed apartment in a suburb of Paris to the northwest. So on the RER or RER A. So it's equivalent to our size of our house in London. So this is a room that you see, and that's 90 square meters, which is pretty decent. It doesn't have a garden, but it is in a very leafy area, and it does have balconies. Have a parking spot, bicycle parking, and a cave or a cellar. So not a wine cellar, though maybe we could use it as a cellar, but it's more for like storing stuff. So think of it as like a loft space, an attic space. The process was relatively quick. Emma went and viewed some properties a couple of weeks ago. We agreed to lease the one that we liked, and then we signed some paperwork. The paperwork was very reminiscent of what we managed to get in the UK when we were buying our house. So things like gas safety, gas efficiency, electricity efficiency, whether there's asbestos in the property, like flood risks, seismic activity, the things that you as a homeowner are interested in, but as a tenant you're like, oh, who cares, the landlord's going to pick it up. But the reason why tenants in France get all this paperwork is because tenants in France have more rights and therefore more responsibilities. And with people having more rights in France, this is going to be a theme in general. So whether it's employment, tenancy, anything else, people have more rights. Sometimes it can be frustrating, sometimes it can be quite good and positive. But that's something we'll explore in further details at some point. So we paid our deposit, paid the agency, and both parties pay an almost equal share to the agent, with the landlord paying nominally more. So we were lucky that we didn't have to go through a service called Guarant Me. So Guarant Me is like a guarantor service. So if you are new to France, if you don't have the right levels of income, then you need to either find a guarantor. So it could be a private individual who earns four times the rental amount every month. So if you're renting a property for €2,000, you need to find someone with an income of €8,000. Or you can sign up to this service called Guarant Me, and it's the only service in France where you pay a percentage of your rent to Guarant Me, and they would then provide that guarantor service for you, which is quite handy if you don't have the connections or enough money, or to kind of prove that you're a viable person. And again, this comes down to landlords not having as much rights as they do in the UK. So when it came to finding an apartment, Emma went and spent an entire day looking at various apartments, all to the west of Paris. And the west is just because that's easy for her to get into work. Me, I work at home, so I don't care. As long as it's nice, obviously. I don't want to live in a shithole. But we looked in various different locations, and it came down to 2 properties which were almost similar, so similar size, similar services, just different locations. So one was like in a bustling little town, and the other was on the edge of a leafier suburb. And we compiled like what the effective rent would be, because one had some utilities included, the other didn't. We then had a look at that, and the effective rent was pretty similar. So we had a look at then pros and cons, and tried to do something really clever with weighting and an Excel spreadsheet, and it just don't start. But ultimately, when it came down to what one do we prefer, we still used the list of pros and cons, but we opted for ones which or we had greater sentiment on the pros or cons which would have a greater impact on where we wanted to live. So in one of the properties, on paper, absolutely perfect, but when Emma was showing me around on WhatsApp, the shower head was not in a location where I think it would be in a shower, and I just knew that after a couple of weeks it would really, really annoy me. So we managed to just get it off and suck that off the list. So where we have ended up, or where we will end up, is where we both think is ideal for us. So it's about 20 minutes on the train into central Paris, so about 10-15 minute walk, train into central Paris, really central. So we're pretty similarly positioned in terms of travel time as to where we are at the moment, which is fantastic. So if you've enjoyed this video, I found it informative. I wouldn't say funny, because it's not really that funny at the moment. Please give it a like. If you want to find out more about my move to France and how to kind of live in France, then please subscribe so you can have more notifications and about what the hell to do, because I'm learning it all myself. And yeah, give a like, give a subscribe, comment if you think I've messed anything out, or you want to know more information, or you're perhaps thinking about doing this yourself. See you soon. Au revoir, à bientôt.